Waystar has won.
Welcome to Greyhound Gossip, featuring Peter O'Neill. This is where we take a look at the WA Greyhound racing scene, keeping a close look at what is happening on and off the track.
Keep an eye on the clock. She is brilliant, Miata. She stops the clock. 36.55, a new track record. On the top, Kenya Kraken headed for the first time, goes to second, then followed by Sneaky Peaky. In behind them was Custard Manelli. Well back in the field was My Time. West on Odie, second last was a Rockanui, putting Manelli's last of all off the back. Crumble Manelli, the leader, out by 2.5 on Kenya Kraken, then followed by Sneaky Peaky. Custard Manelli as they start to swing. Crumble Manelli is still clear by 2 lengths. He takes out the Derby. Crumble Manelli by 2.5 lengths wins the Derby. Second goes to Sneaky Peaky ahead of Custard.
So that was 2023 and Crumble Manelli, after a remarkable year that he had, taking out the Sandgroper as well. He won the Group 2 Britain's Formal Wear WA Derby. Hinto the year before, Manzu, and the Victorian Catch the Thief back in 2020. There's been some outstanding greyhounds that have won this race over the years. It goes back in history to Rajundi back in 1976, and then the following year, Mr. Towhite, who's now in the Rawa Hall of Fame, won the Derby in 1977. We had 4 outstanding heats on Saturday night at Cannington, and the winners, Burglemere defeating My Anarchy Boy. So Burglemere was brilliant for Jamie Marsh, My Anarchy Boy, who won the Mandurah Derby. Got across, was well supported and has made it through to the final. Sunset Frazier was brilliant, 29.56, equal personal best on the night, defeating Cannon Stark. The third heat went the way of Sunset Tyson, another one for David Hobby over Uncle Tommy, the Perth Cup winner. And Firelighter was very, very slick for Paul Stuart from out wide, defeating Sneaky Emoji. So David Hobby has a strong hand in the feature. Can he go back to back? The box draw's taken place, with Cannon Stark drawing box number 1, and currently at $6.50 on Tab Touch. Has had some support. Burglemere into $6.50 as well after drawing box number 2. Sunset Tyson at $8.50. Firelighter, who showed that early speeds at $3.80. The Sydney Sider, Uncle Tommy, is now at $8.50 after drawing box number 5. My Anarchy Boy, $12. Sneaky Emoji, $14. And there's been support for Sunset Frazier, even though he's drawn box number 8. He is the $2.80 favourite. The first heat was taken out by Burglemere for Jamie Marsh, and Jamie's been good enough to give his time this morning on Greyhound Gossip. Jamie, good morning. Big weekend for you, and a brilliant win by Burglemere. He's made it through to the Group 2 final of the Britain's Formal Wear WA Derby.
Yeah, g'day, Pete. Yeah, it was. It was nice. He was a bit of luck in the first bend of My Anarchy Boy. Sort of got held out a bit by the 7, and he took the rails run. But it was a nice win for him. He's shown a bit of promise as a youngster, so it was nice for him to make a big final.
He's already won now 8 races from 21 career starts. He's won in excess of $45,000 in stake money. Did you always have a high opinion of him when he first came through?
Yeah, he broke in quite terribly, the whole litter did, to be honest, and he had a few falls early and didn't show sort of the ability that he's showing now. So maybe it's just that him being a Fernando, he's taken a little bit to come to hand, but yeah, as a young dog, he sort of was a plotter. I think he won a maiden in 30 and 70, and but he sort of just kept getting better and better, and now he's turned into quite a nice young dog.
The litter's been very nice as well. Gimli finishing third in a heat a little bit later on, but they've all shown a fair bit of potential, the Fernando Bale Scootaloo pups. Yeah,
they've taken a while, but they've definitely starting to come to hand now and be a little bit better. They've taken a while and a lot of work, but and a few stewards trials in between, but sort of starting to see some benefit now.
Your team's going very well. You had quite a few runners, and while Burglemere was the only winner, you had a couple of place getters there on Saturday night. You must be happy the way the team's going since the champ Elite Machine was retired. How's he settling into retirement?
Yeah, he's good. He's actually at Paul Westerveld's now, getting drawn. So I think we're up to about 9 or 10 straws when Westy rang me the other day. So he's been registered, and he's loving life in Victoria at the moment with Paul. So he's over there doing that, and he'll go straight to Dan and Sam's once he's finished up there and retire on the couch. But it's been good. I've been blessed, touch wood, that injuries haven't sort of been massive lately, so I've had the benefit of having a few on the track. And whilst we only had one, the box draws were a little bit difficult during the week, so I can't really complain with how they performed. Hopefully we draw a little bit better and get a bit more luck in the future.
Just on Elite Machine, has there been any interest from Brewbridge owners in regards to him serving them?
No, not really. I haven't really advertised him or spoken to many people about him. Sort of wanted to make sure that his semen was up to top standard and everything like that before we sort of started pushing ahead with that, which Westie's assured me it's pretty much top notch, and he started drawing him and registering some sort of semen around the country. So that's all done and dusted now, and which is nice, and he's been awesome to us. So probably start getting the word out there that he's available, and having a chat to a few people, and maybe advertising him in a few different places. But it won't be everywhere. It'll be pretty quiet, but hope that he gets a few here and there as he goes.
I spoke last week, just before we get off him, I spoke last week to Luke Gatehouse with the Queensland Carnival coming up. Would you be looking at going back this year with a greyhound like Burglemere?
I don't know if he's good enough, to be honest, Pete. You see some of the times that were run on the night, and I think he was one of the slower heat winners. I mean, look, it'd be amazing to go back there. It was so much fun, obviously, last time we went, and what an amazing experience. I don't think Burglemere's in the same class as Elite Machine by any stretch. Look, if it was an option and he came out and put a couple of nice ones together, or was to come out and jag a derby or something like that, then we'd sort of think about it. But to be 100% honest with you, he probably will stay home, knowing that, race at Cannington for the next few weeks and then make a decision from there. I don't think he's suited by Mandurah at all. His runs down there have been ordinary, so maybe it is an option, who knows, but I'd have to see a little bit of improvement going forward before we contemplated that.
We have, I've spoken about how high quality this Derby final is. It's remarkable with the quality that's in there. You must have been rapt the fact that Burglemere has come up with a good box.
Yeah, it's ridiculously how good it is. There's dead set 8 weapons in that race, and you couldn't mistake it for even a Perth Cup or a Group 1 final somewhere. It's high quality. So just wrapped to make it. He's gonna give him a bit of a start. I think you've got a ton of speed in there, which he doesn't really have. But look, we'll just be. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun week. It's always nice making these races, and who knows, mate? There might be a little bit of luck on the first corner. There's a bit of speed now, and with Paulie's dog coming over, and who knows? We might get a sit and run into a place. But like I say, it's just fun. Just get down there, have a couple of beers, and it's always fun racing in these big races.
Do you think the way the box draw is with Sunset Frazier, that early speed from out wide, and then we saw Firelighter the other night, and we've heard, well, I heard that he actually went quicker in a trial recently for Paul. He went, I think, 5:39 the other night. The speed going into that first corner could set it up for a greyhound running on.
Yeah, well, it's. I mean, everyone just sort of. It was always a Sunset Fraser hit the front, and you sort of watched if anything could get to the back of him. But now that the Firelighter's come over, and it makes it a completely different ball game. Now you've got 2 dogs that can run similar splits that are going to go hammer and tong to the first mark on Saturday night. So it'll be interesting, mate. He will give him a lead, and he will require a fair bit of luck. But he's drawn well. I'd much rather him down near the fence where he wants to be rather than out in the pink. So look, hopefully he gets some kind of chance come Saturday. It'll be 8 dogs, really hammering to that mark. So, but hopefully he just gets a clean run and gets some chance to show ability in the race.
And Rams Racing, they took you out yesterday. They're still celebrating that 3rd place in the Sandgroper a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I heard all about that yesterday. I actually, Paulie Stuart came along, and one of the boys was talking about Miata, and I got labelled the strapper for the rest of the day, and he was bar coming. So it was a wonderful evening. I don't know why I take him to those things, but no, it was good fun. They're a great bunch of blokes, and they tip a lot of money into the industry. And we were lucky enough to get invited to RAC Arena for the fights yesterday, and it was a ripper day.
Good on you. We'll keep listening because the Bart Cummings is coming up next.
Thanks, mate. Cheers, mate.
Have a good day. Jamie Marsh joining us. Let's go to the Bart Cummings of Greyhound Racing. Paul Stuart, you must have liked that. Paul, how are you this morning?
I'm good, Pete. How's yourself?
Yeah, good, thank you. A good day yesterday, obviously, with the boys from Rams Racing, and boys and girls, I should say, from Rams Racing, but they do put a fair bit of money into the sport, and great to see them sharing it with some of the industry participants.
it was an awesome day out yesterday. It's you couldn't have got any better seats in the house, and the fights are awesome. So it was very much appreciative.
Okay, now
getting the invite, so it's good.
Now, before we get into Firelighter, or I'm about to get into Firelighter, are you prepared to share with our listeners how quick he went in a recent trial? Because I'd had a few reports that he was going to go very, very slick. He went 6:39, which was quick enough, but I'd heard he'd gone quicker in a trial. Is that true?
It was. I don't know whether the time was correct or not, but he did trial a little bit quicker early. His section down the back was probably slower than Saturday night. So, I'm not sure if the first section, if he went 5:26, which would be a record. I don't know if it was actually legitimate or not, but he went quick on Saturday, so it might have been. Yeah,
it was a very, very smart win. So talk us through his run there on Saturday night. How long have you had him in your care for? And the 29.56 shows that he's got a lot of ability.
Yeah, it sure does. I've had him for probably 8 weeks, I'd say. I think he came over probably a week or two after his last start at Wentworth Park, and I've had him here since, and just got him over. He sort of took a couple of weeks to sort of settle in. He dropped a little bit of weight, and he was trialling up pretty good, and we had him sort of ready to go probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he just got a bit of a bug, and he just had a bit of time off, a week off, and ever since he's had that little break, he's come back and he's been electric. So all his trials have been red hot, and obviously there was a bit of a query on how fast he would get the 5:20, because even in Sydney he had very good early pace and good sections. He just finds the 500 on his limit, and it was a bit of a question mark on how quick he could go overall, but he went super on Saturday night. So hopefully with that being his first 500, he can get a little bit stronger.
So he went 18.09 off the back. In comparison to him, Sunset Fraser, who went quicker early, went 18.01. So he's come home quicker because they both had equal times. What did you make of the box draw? So just repeating, Firelighter's drawn box number 4, and the other speed, Sunset Fraser's drawn out in box number 8.
Yeah, it makes for a very interesting race. It's probably one of the best final fields I've seen for a long, long time. Pretty much every dog in that race has got its chance, and with the box draw, it sort of complicates things for everyone. Obviously, Fraser wants to get down to the fence, and he's drawn out an 8, which is not suitable for him, and it's probably not suitable for the dogs underneath him either. So, our chances rely on him coming out of the lids cleanly and getting the clean run to the first corner. And, from 4, you're sort of relying on every other dog to go straight and try and miss a bit of trouble. So, he generally takes a step or two before he gets going. So, I like to see him come out under the lids on Saturday night just to be give him that leg room sort of thing to get going. So, it's a very, very hard race.
Do you have a fairly high opinion of him, and how did you come about meeting Martin Gleeson, and how did he come across to WA?
I really like the dog. I think with that early section, I mean, if you take Sunset Fraser out, he's running sections that you don't really see very often. But Sunset Fraser's just going unbelievable. Like, to be fair, those dogs would be competitive anywhere in the country. So it's a hard dog to sort of run into. But from the trials I've seen of my dog I've got here, he's going tremendous. So he's going to be a free-for-all dog in time. So he's a very good dog. So. And in regards to Martin, he's a friend of a friend of mine from over he lives in Ireland now. So Martin's come over. I think he's been in Perth for about a few years now. He works away on the mines, and he's obviously got a love for dogs. He's from the dog industry over in Ireland, and he reached out to me through my friend, and he comes to the track comes to my house, gives me a hand at home, and comes to the track whenever he's home. So, he just loves the dogs. And this was his first dog he sort of got into in Perth. And, he's found himself a really good one. So, it's wicked to see.
Yeah, nice to see. Was he there on Saturday?
He sure was. Yeah, he's never going to miss that. So, he'll be here next week for the final as well. So, hopefully he can put in a good effort for him.
And you've won the Derby before, so you'd like to win it a second time. You won it a fair while ago. You must have been about 12. Pedrosa in 2010 was successful. Miata, we mentioned, or Jamie mentioned Miata, and you were talking about it yesterday. So a panel are getting together to come up with the top 8 sprinters, top 8 stayers for the 50 years of WA greyhound racing. And, of course, Miata will be, front and centre of a lot of those discussions. She was a wonderful chaser. Where would you put her in the rankings of, the top, 10 greyhounds in Western Australia of all time? Where would you rank her in that top 10?
Oh, she'd definitely have to be there. I mean, obviously when she was racing, she was the premier dog of the country at the time, so that automatically puts her pretty high up for a WA dog. So, I mean, yeah, since I've been in the game, she's probably one of the best dogs I've seen, especially coming out of Perth. So, she'd have to be, in the top few, I'd say. But obviously, there's plenty of good dogs back in the day that I wasn't around to see, and it's hard to sort of compare dogs from different eras all the time. So they all get judged on their own merits, and hopefully she should be up there somewhere, I'd say. Yeah,
it's a good talking point, I think, and I've enjoyed it. David Simonetti, Craig Evans, Mark Botcher and myself, and David Short, of course. We're sitting down and trying to select the top 8 sprinters, top 8 stayers. And while it might sound simple when you first go through it, you start hearing all these other greyhounds and their records, and it's remarkable some of the quality of greyhounds that we've had in WA. And we get to announce that at the end of the year in December, so looking forward to that. Looking forward to the Britain's Formal Wear WA Derby. They've been great supporters of WA chasing for as long as I've been involved in the sport, and great to have them involved again this year. You'll be jumping into Britain's Formal Wear suit on Saturday, your lead-out firelighter. All the best of luck.
Good on you. Thanks very much, Pete.
Good on you. Paul Stuart joining us, and we're heading now to Steve Withers, who's also got a strong hand in the Derby. He's got 2 runners, Cannon Stark, who's drawn ideally in box number 1, and the Perth Cup winner, Uncle Tommy, who's drawn in box number 5, and Steve joins us online now. Steve, good morning.
Hey, Pete, how are you doing?
I'm going very, very well. Cannon Stark has had some support after drawing box number 1, $6.50, the Perth Cup winner. And I think I've said this, and I'm waiting for someone to correct me because I am wrong numerous times, but I think he is the first ever Perth Cup winner to then go in to try and win a Derby. We've had it the other way around in the past, but it's unusual for a young dog to win the Perth Cup and then come back and win the Derby. Just on him, it was a remarkable run by him the other night when he finished second behind Sunset Tyson. You must have been happy with the run?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he went fantastic. He's been going really good. We're just sort of looking after him and picking and choosing our races, and he's had a couple of trials in the weeks off since he's raced last, and he was going super, and he ran right up to it on Saturday night. But the final just gets tougher again. It's just a fantastic depth of quality there.
It is. What did you make of the box draw? So box number 5 for Uncle Tommy. He's got a good record from wherever he draws. He's won already 13 of 24 career starts, and I don't think the box really makes much difference for him, but he's got some speed underneath him in firelighter, and then, of course, as we heard, Sunset Fraser is drawn in box number 8.
Yeah, look, he's got a good record, but a lot of those races were in a lot different quality to what he's going to face on Saturday night, and the speed map in that final on Saturday night is absolute fire. So, box 5 looks really tricky in the middle there. He'd have to go to 110% of his best there to find any clean running. We know how quick Tyson is when he hits the ground, and Firelighter's showing plenty of pace as well. So, look, I guess everybody's in the same boat. They're going to have to find their absolute best to find clean running in that sort of quality.
He's a son of Tommy Shelby, as Cannon Stark is, and we'll get to him in a moment. But what would it mean to you and also to Tommy if you could have another Group 2 winner?
Oh, it'd be fantastic. It's hard to put into words. It's another whole level. We thought we'd really find it hard to get excited after Tommy racing, but having your own backyard bred stock, obviously Poppy, Weston Poppy, their mum lives with our good friend Mick, who's an owner, and Joe Kapoka stock as well, and then you've got the dad sitting at home as well. It's a whole different feeling. It is really close to home, so to get into to make the feature races with these homebred dogs is it's really exciting.
Now, Cannon Stark, drawn box number 1. It was a really good run by him the other night to finish 4 lengths behind Sunset Fraser, who showed that speed underneath of him. He draws in a much better box on Saturday night, which you must be happy about.
It's a big blessing in a race like this with the power and the speed all over the field to draw the rails like that. We know boxes create a big difference in races, and with a grain of salt as well, you've got to be careful. Box one, if you do miss it and don't jump to your best, you're going to get buried down on the fence and there's no soft spot. So, but it does give him a chance if he runs up to his best. He can motor. I guess if you put him one-on-one, he's probably a yard quicker overall than Uncle Tommy, but Uncle Tommy has the weapons early with the speed that he's built the record that he has.
It's remarkable, isn't it, when you go on times, and greyhound racing is all about times, that Cannon Stark, who's won $40,000 or just over in stake money, and Uncle Tommy just over $270,000. But the fact that Uncle Tommy has gone, 2 or 3 lengths slower, his personal best to that of Cannon Stark.
Yeah, and it comes down to opportunity. There's one thing to have ability, and then it comes down to opportunity. And a little bit of attitude adds up to that a lot, but then early speed and execution of that early speed creates opportunity, and then that's where the prize money comes in. And different ways to measure it, but I guess that's the easy way to draw it back down to is creating opportunity.
Who do you see as the hardest to beat now that the box draws are being conducted? Sunset Fraser in 8, your bloke in 5, the Mandurah Derby winner in 6, Sneaky Emoji 7. So there's speed all around, and then you have Firelighter, the Sydney sider who was most impressive there the other night. Burgle Mears chasing well, Sunset Tyson and Cannon Stark. Who do you see as the hardest to beat?
Well, you couldn't rule any of them out. My Energy Boy was massive in his heat after some trouble. Sunset Tyson's the dog. If he gets it right at box rise, his sectionals, and then his sectionals up the back, he just creates his own luck. So he's been very unlucky, that dog. He's got one of the biggest motors or speed motors you've seen in the country, and boxes haven't gone his way in finals, I suppose. But even from box 8, he's got the weapons to offset that, and he's probably the first one you're looking for to where he lands. And then from there, everybody else is highly capable of winning. It's a great race.
The Cannington track's going to be closed at the end of May for some work to be done on it, and it could be closed for a period of 3 months. Does that give a trainer like yourself and other WA trainers the thought of maybe heading to Queensland for some of the prize money on offer there, or are you happy to be racing down at Mandurah?
Look, it makes it difficult. I couldn't say that you're happy to race at Mandurah. It's a fantastic 400-metre track and brilliant for the 647, but the corner start 488 for your really nice 500-metre dog's not perfect. It's so far away over east, so that creates another perplexing problem for you to consider as well. But it's certainly a strange time, and we just have to get through it like everybody does, and we'll make the best of it. But yeah, definitely plenty to think about. And
last year we kept mentioning that Tommy Shelby, it took him 12 months, or we said what a great feat it was, 12 months to have his progeny earn $1 million in stake money, and in the first couple of months he's gone past $2 million. What's he up to at the moment?
I haven't looked at it, to be honest. That's the boss's department, Kira's. But he's flying along, and we just keep getting some reports back constantly from people that there's some really hot prospects in the chamber ready to hit the track and that. And I think there's some in England that are starting to get educated, and they're pretty excited about those as well. So it's really interesting. It is really interesting. It never stops being boring. And the pride in just having him sit there on your lounge chair and on your bed, and what he can produce and what he's done, it never wears thin.
Was he placed in a derby?
No, unplaced in the derby.
He made the final.
Made the final, found some trouble on the first corner, got his heels clipped, May 4th or 5th maybe. Yeah, I remember him. We've had some outstanding winners, and we're going to have another one on Saturday night. It's a remarkable field. Good luck with both of your runners, Cannon Stark, and also with Uncle Tommy. We wish you the best of luck. Thanks for joining us. Need all the help we can find, Pete. Thank you. Good on you. Steve Withers joining us on Greyhound Gossip. The market is up with Tab Touch into $2.80. Sunset Fraser drawing box number 8. Big racing today, or this week, first of all at Northam today, Mandurah tomorrow, and then back to Cannington on Wednesday, and the Derby final on Saturday. We'll take a quick break. Tim Walker will be in after this, often.